at the Fort Valley State University. I'm an Atlanta native, born and bred, South Fulton, College Park, Union City, Fairburn. Been an artist my whole life, been drawing, making art since I was 2 years old. Me as a high schooler, I was a shy outsider. Very stark contrast to who I am now because I know who I am now. And when you're in high school, as a glorified art nerd, you kind of don't always fit in. I can't really say that I had a ton of direction from that standpoint. For me in high school, it was track team and art. I knew I needed to go to college, but at the time, I can't say I was really too sure of why I was going. I was largely just figuring it out. The college talk came up, and I had eyes on Morehouse. I got in there on academic probation, actually, and my dad wasn't going to pay for it, which at the time was like heartbreaking, but I completely understand it now. Georgia State was an idea. Payne College was an idea. Fort Valley was an idea, obviously. I wanted to go to Morehouse. I got into Morehouse. My dad was not going to pay for Morehouse. And that sucked for me at the time. Like emotionally, that was not what I wanted to hear. So, my dad was like, well, look, you go down here to Fort Valley, and, if you still want to go to Morehouse, you can always transfer there and this and that. And again, it wasn't what I wanted to hear. But it was what ended up happening. In retrospect, I'm definitely glad that I went to Fort Valley over Morehouse. It's not taking nothing away from Morehouse, but Fort Valley is where I needed to be. As an incoming freshman at Fort Valley State, I was definitely feeling nervous because I'm naturally shy. And at this point in life, I'm like an introverted extrovert. Now you end up doing with a cat that you don't know, but you making friends and everything. I still remember the first friend that I made. It was a little bit of fear, a little bit of apprehension and everything, but kind of glad to also be away from home and just to be able to kind of walk around and do stuff on my own. Truthfully, I was focused on a bit of the wrong things when I first got to Fort Valley. I was focused on the track team and dating the girl that I was in love with. The first time being in love and everything like that, that was my focus. And also my detriment, especially when you have an 8 a.m. pre-calculus class and you are not good in math, as I was. And so that definitely left me with an F in that class, which left me with a 1.82 GPA by the end of my first semester as a freshman. I changed my major to something that I'm actually good at and have a passion for, as opposed to something I thought would make me money. Shout out to Mr. Calloway, shout out to Founders Hall and everything, the graphic design program there now. Again, shout out to Mr. Calloway. Like he really was like a father figure to that program, is a father figure, I should say, to that program overall. And I made almost straight A's for almost 2 years. Skyway told me something I still remember today. We were sitting in class in time, and he just simply said, drawing is the essence of all things. And he's right, because before you got a painting, you got a drawing. Before you have a building, you have sketches of these buildings. The other thing about artistry is that art shapes culture. So without us as artists, you have no American society. You have no Black society, quite frankly. Black society is shaped by Black artistry, which in turn has shaped the rest of America, which in turn has shaped pretty much the rest of the world. Once I graduated from Fort Valley, then it was on to grad school. So then I went to SCAD. And the idea there was to aim for the MFA, so Masters of Fine Arts, which is the highest degree in that particular field that you can get. And then the plan was to go teach college, obviously illustration of some type of art. Not particularly what I wanted to do, but what would have given me a steady paycheck and the space to still create art. One thing I realized in life is that if you do it for the money and only for the money, it's probably not going to work out the way you want it to. Everything that I've ever learned artistically is completely applicable to what I do today. So, yeah, no, I'm not a teacher at an institution. Yeah, I don't do professional illustrative work for like comics or anything like that, but I do professional illustrative work on skin. And so everything I learned between, like SCAD and Fort Valley and stuff like that, I use that today. I use that in my painting. I use that in my drawing. Anything that I can work with my hands and some type of, tool and instrument to create visual art, like Fort Valley had a hand in that. Mr. Calloway had a hand in that. So far as tattooing itself, I've been doing it 14 years now. And it's always been there. It went from just a hustle to a legitimate career. And now I have my own private art studio. And I love it. I can tattoo there, I can create my art there, I can do what I need to do for me there, and it generates funds. I love the space that I'm in terms of being able to, not just crank out regular tattoos or anchor here or cross there, just whatever else, but creative pieces that a lot of times I come up with, custom pieces that come from, my spirit and whatnot. And people rock these, and that's honorable of me. I'm happy to have the following and the clientele of people who think my art is that dope in the first place, that they want it, that much. History for me at this point in life is definitely history. Fort Valley, goes back to 1895. It's literally 30 years post-slavery. That's crazy. An institution made for us, for us. I mean, and it also has the most land in the state out of any institution. That's crazy. Like how could you not respect that? The money is definitely important though. I mean, these huge funds and stuff like that these PWIs have and stuff don't just come from nowhere. They come from donors, they come from the alumni and stuff like that. It kind of goes back to the concept of, you'll buy from Gucci, but you won't buy from the black dude down the street because it's not, it's not Gucci or whatever else. If you're gonna go off and go to a Georgia Tech game and support them and throw them, however much a ticket to that game is gonna cost, plus the cost of whatever you buy from them and stuff like that. If you can buy Georgia Tech paraphernalia from some little shop in the mall or something like that, like why can't you support an HBCU, a school meant for people who look like you? Like why not do those things? Like this is how we grow, but it's also how we don't grow if we can't support each other, empower the possible, brick by brick.